Hi there, chaps. It's Kate Stirling here. I'm coming to you today live from my pantry because it's quite early on a Sunday. I will get a bit better at doing this during the week and scheduling it. But it's like 7:25, and I thought I'll come to the pantry to try and not disturb everyone. But I seem to have woken everyone up anyway. If you would like to take a look, I'm also streaming this currently to YouTube. So if you want to have a look at my pantry, you are welcome to go and have a look at my pantry. It's not very exciting, and I've got that little sweat going on. You don't need to know that little sweat that's creeping up in the heat and the closeness of this environment. But anyway, sorry for sharing that slightly TMI. So much for to go and rate this on Apple Podcasts or in iTunes. I don't know if you can do that anymore. I'm a bit old school, but yeah, if you have the time, I'd really appreciate any reviews or anything like that you can kind of pop in there. But yes, thank you so much. So today I wanted to talk about a few things, but primarily into ego, and I was starting to get a bit worried that, not worried, dramatic choice of word, but I was just a bit conscious that I didn't want this podcast to suggest or to seem like you should try and copy my life or that my life is perfect. And I'm not by any means saying that my approach to life is the right one, in terms of the choice of title of the podcast and how to live a Stirling life. Bit of a play on words, because Stirling is obviously has different connotations to wealth and value, and that's actually a stage name that I came up with when I was, many moons ago now. I must have been in my early 20s. My agent, basically. I've gone on a tangent already. Okay, I'm just going to tell a story. So when I was about 20, there's something called Spotlight, which is like the actors directory, and I was registered in there as Kate Manning, which is my name, my born name. And Katie Manning, who was or is an actress who was in Doctor Who, her agent got in touch with my agent because she couldn't re-register in Spotlight because you can't have a name that clashes. It's like the closest I've ever got to notoriety. So her agent got in touch with my agent and said, can I change my name, basically? And I was young and didn't really have a profile, so I was like, yeah, sure. And it was really hard to try and decide what to change my name to. And at the time I did start playing around with double barreling it with the person I was with, who I then married, so it was probably a good thing that I didn't do that. Because that didn't work out. But Stirling is a place in South Australia, and I have my mum's Australian, so I have strong links to Australia. I always like to pretend that I'm Australian, but I'm really not, am I? But I always like to kind of think that I am semi-Australian, which I guess I am. But my WhatsApp is open. I'm just going to quit that. But yeah, Stirling confident. You're like a different entity when you walk into a room. Not in a sense of pretending to be someone else, but just for me, it was like, oh yeah, okay, that's my acting identity. So Stirling for me as well is then just seemed like a natural thing to put into the podcast, because it's not only my name, but it's also, positive in its connotations. I could have just said that in a sentence, but instead I spent 3 minutes telling you a rambly story. Sorry. But anyway, the idea behind today's podcast is to really share that this is not about me pretending or saying that like I've got one of those perfect Instagram lives that you look at and you're like, oh, I really want to do that, and maybe you do, I don't know, but it's more about you really appreciating your life and then your life growing as a result. That's my aim, because really, if we are able to be grateful for our lives that we have. Okay. So I'm just going to wait and see, because it looks like my streaming there has stopped recording. So I'm just going to wait. Sorry if you're watching this. Well, I'm just going to keep the stream going. And I'll see how much of this has... how very frustrating. Why did that happen? we'll see how much of this has recorded, and then we'll pick it up. And hopefully this won't take long. Deary me, shall I stop the stream? Here is not the best idea. How very frustrating. So it finished a minute ago, so perhaps... Well, there we go. That's what happens when you do things from a pantry and you don't test it first. Let's just see. I'm just going to pause this